As a choice we making, we saving our own lives. You can make it better than we are the children, we are the children. So let's start giving. Saving our lives. It's true, we make it better day. It's you and me, yeah. We are the children. So let's start giving. It's the choice we're making. Yeah, it's saving our lives. It's true, we make it better day. So let's start giving. Choice we're making. It's saving our lives. It's true, we make a brighter day. You know, I have the song on my mobile phone, and whenever I feel the emotions of depression, whenever I want something to bring me back to the reality that it's not a dream that I will one day awake from, only to realize that the other world that I would be awakened into would be one that I can embrace and say, thank God, that was just a dream. Unfortunately, it was not. It is not. And for all those who are listening to the sound of my voice right now, you are not asleep. This is not a dream. So whenever I play the song, We Are the World, with the synchronization of all the voices, the beauty that comes out of that one piece of artwork transforms me into a being of divinity. I feel like God is alive and I'm possessed by the Holy Spirit. That's the comfort I experience when I listen to that song, We Are the World. Greetings, I'm Professor Love, and this is the SRS Lonely Heart Show. I find it convenient to bring on the agenda a variety of issues that is pertinent to the direction I wish to steer those who are listening and those who are following via social media and later via TikTok and YouTube. Simply because I'm also a part of this world. You see, borders are just an illusion. created by a minority to control the majority. The same way I would associate the act of marriage, it's also an illusion to create this idea that this ceremony is a life sentence, that regardless of the individual's position later, it cannot be undone or altered. It's just an illusion. The reality is, there are no borders. The world is one. The earth is one. The reality is, marriage is fake, because couples can only exist as they see the need for each other. On tonight's program, I want to play a press conference that was just a few days ago, was brought to the public's attention by the alleged victim of sexual assault and harassment, which was perpetrated by the hands of a prominent government minister. This situation has resonated with the content of this program, because I'm dealing with social issues, family issues, romantic issues, political issues, economic issues. One does not exist without the other. And because borders are an illusion, cultures influence each other. Because you find that citizens in Suriname display on a daily basis characteristics of people all the way in Nigeria, all the way in Ghana, all the way in India, in China. They repeat things said out of those territories. Unless you look at the contexts of the language, only then you can separate the fact that these people have never been to Africa, never been to India, never been to China, but find it convenient to display, to exhibit some characteristics of people who actually live in those domains, in those territories. Hence my point that borders is an illusion. Like, this is Suriname, these boundaries are Suriname, that is Guyana, these boundaries are Guyana, that is Venezuela, that is America. All a sham, all fake. Because when this world was created, God gave mankind dominion, and the mandate was to be fruitful and multiply, replenish the earth. He didn't say replenish Suriname or replenish Guyana or replenish America. He says the earth. Man implement borders for personal and private profiteering. A nation is not identified by a flag, but heritage, bloodline. In pockets, I will deal with those issues over time, but I established that because I want to play the clip which is in English, that is spoken from the person, the alleged victim of the sexual assault, and from memory, I would echo the response of the alleged perpetrator, who is a former minister of government in the regime of Irfan Ali, who would have frequented Suriname as well. So it is just a matter of hours when there are issues that happened on this scale on a global platform that attracts the attention of the so-called international media, well, Western media. It is something worth talking about, because how things are dealt with in certain more established, civilized countries will certainly lay the platform for how developing countries deal with their own issues. So I beg for your attention, and I'll give my remarks on this. It is just under 10 minutes. I want you to listen attentively, and I'll be back to deal with that and other pressing issues on the show tonight. For those persons who are looking forward for me to deal with an issue that was brought to my attention last week, I decided to put it on hold after giving it some thought. I decided to put it on hold. I have to do, this time I will do some more digging before I can bring that to the fore. All right, so let's go now with this interview here.
I'm going to start off by reading my statement. Thank you for joining me. I hate being here under these circumstances, but I feel very confident going forward with this. On September 27, 2020, I was in my residence at Golden Fleece on the Essequibo Coast. Mr. Dharamlal and I were in contact regarding a job that I was promised for over 4 months. The post was that of Regional Executive Officer for Region 2. Dharamlal explained he was in Essequibo for campaigns on said night, and that we would be able to discuss the matter of employment at the Annie Regina State House. At around 1900 hours, I left my residence and drove my white Toyota Corolla PXX 6536 to get to my rendezvous. Dharamlal had asked me to take food for him along with a toothbrush and soap, which I carried with me. 20 minutes later, I arrived at a deserted state house in Annie Regina. I was surprised that there was no staff nor entourage. I deemed it strange. Dharamlal and I entered the two-story building, and we go into a kitchen with a long dining table at which sat an African gentleman having dinner. I acknowledged him, but he ignored me completely. Dharamlal and I sat across from each other at the farthest end, and he eats and starts talking. He abruptly asked me if I'm entitled. Because according to him, my father told him I shouldn't get the position because I act as though I'm entitled and that I misbehave. He laughs at these comments, and I find it very off-putting and out of context. The conversation steers towards my sexual orientation, during which I established that I am a lesbian. His next remark was that Susan Rodriguez is also a member of the LGBT community and that he teases her a lot. He was very shocked that I was publicly out and was surprised I did not receive any discrimination for my sexual orientation. After he wraps up dinner, we walk out of the kitchen to an open living room area, all on the first floor. I wasn't sure where to sit in the living room. Dharamlal made sure that we were out of earshot of the gentleman in the kitchen. Before I can ask or say anything, he grabs my left hand and proceeds to walk up the stairs to the left of us without without saying a word. I'm confused and assume he's being playful, but wasn't sure what to expect upstairs. To my surprise again, it is empty, with a long hallway and shut doors on each side. My abuser's room was to the very end on the left side. I don't know why we diverted from the living room, and at this point he grabs my body and tries to kiss me on the mouth, pulling himself onto me. I immediately turn away and persistently said that nothing can happen because I'm fully into women and that this is not something I came here expecting to do and can't offer anything. He doesn't say anything, but proceeds to tell me vulgar comments and sexualize me. I excuse myself to go to a self-contained bathroom, trying to figure out how to get out of the situation since I was here for business and didn't intend on leaving without ascertaining what we had agreed to discuss. After a few minutes, I exit the bathroom and Dharamlal is on the bed, laying on his back with his genitals out. I am shocked, stunned, and immediately tell him to put his clothes on and not to expose himself to me. Excuse me.
Right? You can do this, right? You can do this, though.
I am shocked, stunned, and immediately tell him to put his clothes on, not expose himself to me. He does not comply nor show any signs of embarrassment, and he tries to coax me to take my clothes off and join him on the bed. I was disgusted by this man's naked body and everything he was asking me to do. My mind was spinning. I couldn't understand how a minister of parliament is doing this to me at this moment. He asked me to disrobe and insists on keeping all of my clothes on. I am trying not to be rude, and at my expense. He starts fondling and groping me. My top comes off with him trying to see my breasts. And as I'm sitting on the bed trying to put my clothes on, he takes them off and we go back and forth. He finally starts to grind up against me, expecting our genitals to touch. I told Dharamlal to stop and to put his penis away. He says he needs to get something from me first. He starts to take my pants off and my underwear, but I insist on leaving my pants halfway on one leg because I did not want to spread eagle to this man. I couldn't believe this was happening, and I stared at the ceiling and looked at a clock to the left of me. My dignity and sanity went out the window, and I was crushed. I was completely disassociated as this man goes down on me, and he used his tongue to have oral sex with my vagina and anus. I don't know how long this goes on for, but I began to sob silently without him knowing, since I intended on showing no fear, with a naked minister trying to have sexual intercourse with me on pretenses of a business meeting. Now he stops and asks me if I feel anything, and I said no. What he did was put his finger into my vagina, and I told him no, so as to get him to discontinue. He looks embarrassed by the comment and stops fingering me, but wanted to keep having oral sex. Then, he lays next to me at one point and demands I put my hand on his penis, which I vehemently refuse to. His next move is to ask me to cuddle with him and for him to put his penis against my buttocks. At no point do I consent to this, and I am very uncomfortable. I was very uncomfortable with the barrage of things he's asking me to perform with him after telling him I'm a gay female. No. After multiple attempts to put my hand on his penis, I get up and say I have to pee, and immediately start to get dressed and make assertions that I have to be leaving soon. I had no intention of being in a business meeting with this man after the shock and humiliation I felt at the time. I tell him I'm leaving and proceed to go to the bathroom, where I stay there for as long as I can and wash my hands and everything as good as I could. My mind was racing, and I made a plan to get away from this man regardless of any business meeting. I was violated against my will by a man who exploited my situation and tried to entrap me in a compromising situation, due to my future contract with the ministry. I exited the bathroom and Dharamlal is not pleased that I want to leave, but I was now fully clothed with my bag and phone ready to go, so he gets stressed. I see him reach over and retrieve a Glock from under the pillow and he forced me to lay on. And as he did the deed. I scoffed at this because I knew he carried a firearm but did not know that it was under the pillow. I didn't wait for him to lead me out but started to walk downstairs and outside. I'm escorted to the front door where he stays and remarks that he wants me to lend him my car next time he comes to Escobar. I'm appalled at this man and start my car to exit the premises. The security hut at the Regina State House had 2 guards who saw me come and go, and they did not respond to me when I greeted them. At this point, I wondered, did they know that Dharamlal just had sex with me? Did they suspect? I go home and arrive there minutes before 11. I had no intention of letting my family know, and I showered as soon as I entered the house, trying not to draw any suspicion, but my family members were asleep. I was in shock and denial that Dharamlal, my future employer, raped me. To my further disgust, he sends a WhatsApp message in the shower, and I replied angrily and rhetorically that I did. He said that he doesn't want to shower and that he won't. I was flabbergasted at how disgusting Dharamlal is. My second physical encounter with him was an ambush very similar to the first time. This incident, however, occurred in 2021 before May, when I was in contact with the Ministry of Local Government about non-payment of my contract.
Yes, welcome back. I want to stop it there because it's the victim in this recording that I've just played just recounted a second similar situation there that she would have experienced. Now, for those persons who may not have gotten that clearly, this is a young lady who has made it clear to a then sitting minister of government who goes by the name Dharamlal. This young lady, her name is Sarah Hakh. Sarah Hakh is her name, and her accuser at the time was a government minister in the Irfan Ali regime. That was just a few years ago. Now, this press conference was a few days ago. If what this woman has alleged against this former minister, but still a very powerful man in the government and in the politics, based on that, he should have been arrested pending an investigation. Based on that. However, I want to continue by saying this. What has happened to this female, it is not unique to her. She may have been one of the voices who decided to not let the situation go or slide just because this man is a rich and powerful man. But recent history has taught us that the people who continue to face the strong arm of the law regarding using money and power to take advantage of women around the world are politicians, famous men, millionaires and billionaires. They are the ones who continue to face prosecution for allegedly doing the very thing This woman is highlighting that has been done to her. That's the level of men that continues to pounce upon unsuspecting women. I'll give it another twist. In this situation here, this lady, Sarah, based on her testimony, said she made it clear to the minister that she is a lesbian and she has no interest in men, that she would like to maintain a professional relationship for the purpose of what she was there for, what the item on the agenda was. Made it very clear. Allegedly, the Minister Dharamlal didn't hear that, because like most men who have this illusion, I seem to be using that word a lot, because we often say that when people are under the influence of drugs and alcohol, or they are possessed, they have what you call hallucinations. When you are sane, sober, it's called illusions. Meaning you have in your head one reality that is not in any way mirroring the reality that is before you. So while she said to him, "Hey, I'm a lesbian, don't get ideas," hoping that he would change whatever plan he had in his head to understand that your advances would be a waste of time. Because the fact that this young lady, Sarah, the fact that she knows that she has no interest in that man, that was her protection, that was her safety. That, hey, he can't seduce me because I'm not interested. Even if he is naked, I'm not interested. So she was not bothered by the possibilities that he may want to create some kind of atmosphere to seduce her. But none of that made sense. He didn't hear that. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Here is why. Men cannot interpret emotions. Men cannot read a woman's emotions. We ignore it because we don't understand and we cannot interpret it. Emotions is a feminine language that men cannot decipher. What men understand is the woman's actions. Because for you to get the message across to a man, you have to become a man. You have to act like a man to get that message across. Now here it is. Emotionally, she told him, and I'm saying, just to understand why he would still advance her. Emotionally, she tells him, hey, I'm not down like that. But she did it with a smile, with a flirty attitude, not to be rude like she claimed he said. So he took it by saying, yes, but you are here. You are wearing something sexy. You are in the bedroom With me, there is a bed. So your actions that led you to this point is telling me, keep trying. Is telling me as the man to be a man. Maybe you like a man who is aggressive. Maybe you like a man who is strong, who is in control, who is powerful, who can get what he wants and take what he wants. Those are the ideas that starts to enter his mind based on her actions. And he acted on those ideas by applying himself, by breaching her verbal barriers, by breaching her statement of, I'm not into men, and physically violated this woman while he was acting in the capacity as a government minister in a government residence. Now, I can say, why didn't she scream? Because there were other people. There was another man. She said there was an African man, meaning a black man. There were security. Why not scream? Why not run out of the room? Embarrass him. So you have witnesses. So her defense, before those questions are asked, is, I didn't want to be rude. Well, that defense, that logic that she put forward, is what I'm saying tells him, keep going. Now, what he has achieved is, in the process of getting her in a state of sexual drunkenness, in common terms, seducing her, he proceeded to perform oral sex, to eat her vagina, to lick her vagina, and based on what she says, her anus as well. So he was tossing her salad and licking her vagina. And that was for the process of making her defenseless. Because men know when a woman is being difficult in bed and you want to help her to get comfortable without giving her alcohol, you just go down and you start eating, licking, and sucking her vagina. That causes her to relax and open up, and then eventually you have access. You can penetrate her. But if you go to the point of having that same woman orgasm while you are performing oral sex on her, she climaxes, she orgasms, then she's off. She no longer has the need, especially if it was not a planned sexual encounter. She no longer have the desire to allow you to finish off inside of her, because you have forced her to reach an orgasm by molesting her. So there's a lot that is wrong with that story there, in that he responded, because I've read portions of his press conference, by saying that they were just friends, professional, business, and none of that actually happened. Naturally so, most perpetrators, especially politicians, they're always innocent. Somebody always wants to get at them. They're always innocent. And the victim is making it up because the victim is seeking money, or the victim is influenced by the opposition, the victim has her own personal agenda. But I'm a man. And as a man, I was always fortunate from a very young age to hold positions of authority, positions of power. Always. And I understand how vulnerable women are when they come to people in powerful positions, men in positions of power. Women come defenseless. They come to be at your mercy. They have no intentions when they come to you to sell their body or trade their bodies for whatever favor they're asking of you. And normally when a woman approaches, and I can tell you, let me use myself. Back in the day when I had the influence and the power, and I could have get things done just with a phone call, and women approach me, they were not coming to ask me favors that was not within my capacity to do. Whatever they were asking of me, that was my designation. That was what I could do. It was not taking anything from me to deliver that service. But I can also tell you that there were females who would come to me and who may not want to be on the waiting list. The fact that they come to the boss, or the fact that they come to the director, or the fact that they come to the CEO, or the fact that they come to someone who knows the president or knows the minister, is that they don't want to wait like the common person. They're seeking favors. And as we know, a lot of these females who may come to politicians or men of power, they do not have the financial ability to offer as a speed up of what they're seeking. Their only currency is their vagina. And while they may not come and say, I'm going to give you my vagina if you help me to speed up the process to get a job, or get a loan at the bank, or get this piece of land, or get this contract. They don't come and say, hey, I'll give you some pussy or we can have sex. No, they don't do that. But they come with the reservation that may be on the table. And if it is that they have to sleep with this man in order to get that favor, that decision was already made before they arrived there. That decision was made. And more often than not, they have kept that in their head, that for me to get this favor, I have to sleep with him. That's a done deal. If it doesn't happen, good for them. But at some point, it usually does. Most women who compromise like that for favors, over time forget about it. They got what they wanted. He got what he wanted. It's a win-win. In this Sarah Hakh situation with this alleged accuser, perpetrator Dharamlal, who's a minister of government, during the time this was done, she's making many allegations here. There's a lot of irregularities on his part. There are a lot of charges here. There are a lot of wrongdoings here. And if the law book should be thrown at this individual, Dharamlal, there are many, many counts of sexual misconduct from his part. I want to say this to Sarah Hakh. All over the world, this is why we have the Me Too movement. All over the world, women continue to face this from men. Men in position. You see, men who don't have power, the average guy, he has to put in a lot of work. He cannot afford to play around with every woman he sees walk by. He may try his hand by trying to be courteous, but that's as far as he goes. He stops there. But let that same average man who worked an 8-hour job overnight win a jackpot, overnight becomes a government minister, parliamentarian, or whatever. That same individual who once respected a woman's no is no, give him some power and some money. He no longer understands no. He becomes the kind of man who misinterprets body language, actions. The fact that she comes in the car, even though she knows I want to sleep with her, she still comes in the car. It meant she wants me to sleep with her. So while with her words she says no, her actions says yes. So he goes forward. Though Dharamlal may not hear this program, I hope he does, I'm sure that someone will tell Miss Sarah Hakh that there are men who understands and who would stand besides women when they make these statements about men. I'm one of them. Yeah, you would have heard me over the years. It seemed like I talk against women. No, I don't. I deal with the issues. I deal with issues. I have nothing against women. Nothing. I love women. I mean, I believe that God is a woman. Women are goddesses, regardless of your ethnicity, regardless of your appearance. If you are born with a vagina and breast, you are a goddess. That's my view. So I have the deepest divine admiration for women everywhere. I deal with issues when it's necessary. And on this issue right now, there are many women, many, who have gone through worse than Sarah. I'm listening to what she's saying and I'm disgusted. I am disgusted as a man. Because even in Suriname, you have politicians, men of so-called power and money, do this to women every day. You hear it by the side, you hear it by the way. While some may be reported, that's all you get from it. I am all for consensual sex. I am all for consensual sex. Meaning, if she says yes, we can have sex. enjoy. In my own pathway in life, even in relationships, and I can go as deep as saying my ex-wives, if they are with me in the bed, if my wife is with me in bed and she's naked as heaven, I can be as hard as a rock, dripping, that if I touch myself, I'm done, I'm off. And my penis can be to her vagina. I'm talking about wife here. If she says, if my wife said to me, I'm not in the mood, no, that's it. It's no. I turn away, I stop, I forget about it. I've had cases, personal situations, where I've been to, where women came in my bed, or I've been to a hotel, or been, with a girl, with a woman, and I've done everything. Romance her, oral sex, everything. We went with the intention, with the idea, her consent. Yes, it's for sex. We're going to have sex. That's it. Knowing the kind of man I am, making sure that she gets the attention, give her all the attention, make sure she's satisfied, let her say, okay, I want you, I want to feel you. Even when it's consensual, and I go to a hotel, and the lady says, I don't want to go further, that's it. You think I'm going to say, no, I've already invested money, you're my girlfriend, or we're coming to have sex, I've already romanced you, I ate your pussy, I made you orgasm, you felt good, I should have my share now, I don't care about you saying no, I need it. You think I'll do that? No. I never did, I never would. Why? Because her mouth reveals the content of her mind. If her mind is saying, I don't want sex, penis and vagina, and her mouth echoes that and she says, no, I can't go further, that's it. I'm not going to try to coach and seduce and beg. No, no is no, that's it. I'm done. I mean, there won't be a second time, but I'm done. And I have faced that over the years, a few times, not many times, but a few times. I understood. Why? Because women have this thing where you call overthinking. They have to debate in their minds about what they are about to do. They got to weigh the pros and the cons about what they are about to do. If she's not convinced that this holds some kind of present or future benefits, more often than not, she'll want to wait, pause, to see what happens. You have to respect that. If she comes with you and then you get it immediately, good for you. It doesn't mean she loves you or she is attracted to you. It's based on her emotional, mental, physical condition at the time. Has nothing to do with you. Now maybe with the Sarah situation, maybe under other circumstances, regardless of if she says she's into women alone, maybe she would have compromised and say, well, what's the penis now and then? Maybe. Maybe the approach of wanting to overpower this woman, the approach of wanting to be demanding and aggressive, and to say that your rights aren't important, I'm the big boss, you give me what I want. That is what caused, maybe that is what caused her to withdraw herself and put up this barrier and say, oh, really? Then you have to rape me to get me, because I'm not going to willingly give in to you. Maybe it's about his approach. Maybe it's about his arrogance of being a government minister. What we have heard is just her take. He had a superficial response, which just give a summary of what he wanted to say regarding that. She gave more details. But I think it's very embarrassing for any man to have a woman publicly talk about the situation like that. We have currently, as I speak, an American president, Donald Trump, who is presently facing criminal charges that can put him in jail on a very similar issue. But in his case, he didn't rape the woman. He paid her to be quiet, not to talk about him having sex with her. Meaning, she's a prostitute. So paying a prostitute for sexual favors is illegal. And then paying her off not to talk about it is even more illegal. So he's facing similar situation. Donald Trump, a billionaire, powerful man. At the time when it happened, he was a powerful man. In the Sarah Hakh situation, Dharamlal is a powerful man and a rich man, well connected. So again, women need not take men for granted. This woman may be lonely in her quest to get justice. Dharamlal may be lonely in his quest to prove this woman as being a liar, concocting a story, fabricating all these things. Only time will tell if either person gets justice. But the fact is the fact that women continues to take men for granted. I have said forever, men and women cannot be friends. It is impossible. It is impossible for men to see women in a professional light. The only time men pretend to be professional with women is if they have something to lose. their credibility, their position, or their money. Whenever most men are professional with women, these women are grandmothers. These women might be women in authority. But if it's up to these men, or men in general, a woman is just a potential mate. It's just a means to a sexual end. That's how most men see women. In no way as equals. Men are professional only to other men, never to women. I would also further state, men are competitive. Not competitive with other men. Men are competitive when it comes to pursuing women. The more you tell a man no, but yet you take his calls, yet you ask him for favors, yet you visit his home, yet you allow him to hug you, yet you tell him your story, the more you say no to him about having sex with you, but you continue to send that signal, your actions continues to tell him, don't worry about me saying no, because if I really meant no, I would not ask you for anything. I would not ask you for money. I would not ask you for favors. I would not ask you to spend time with me if I really meant no. I just want you to have it your way. The more you say no, but your body language says yes, the more he will pursue you. The stronger he will come on you. And when it comes to women who are professed lesbians, men have no respect for that. That is of no consequence to men in general. If you can turn a bird or a ghost, and you can invade the circles of men when men are talking about lesbians, if you can be there without being there, and you hear what men are saying, you would understand that you telling a man that you're into women just excites him, turns him on, causes his mind to work. Men like hearing that because he is envisioning, I can get a threesome with her. So the more you say to a man, I like girls, but yet you're hanging around him, he would not be turned off by that. He's not going to say, oh, well, I need not advance this woman because she made it clear. No, the more he's going to advance you. Because he wants to show you that he has a penis and not a dildo, and he has what you want. He can do oral sex just like the girl, plus he can give a bonus. He knows that every woman has a desire to have a man, to have a penis, regardless of what she says. So you saying that to a man would not stop his advances. Men always like to have women who profess to be lesbians hang around, especially at parties. Because when a so-called lesbian is under the influence of alcohol, she desires a penis. Her guards are down, her inhibitions are messed up. That's the opportunity the man wants. She's high, she's drunk, she don't care. And that's why most persons who profess to be interested in the same sex, that's how they're compromised. They think the man respects the fact that they are like this, but then they get high, they end up sexually involved with men. When they recover, they either cry rape, abuse, but that is the reality. That is the thing that our women are taken for granted. So to most women I advise, when you are dealing with men in position, especially if you are the modern idea of an attractive woman, especially if you are a friendly woman, flirtatious person, if you have no intentions being sexually compromised with this man in power, walk with a companion. Walk with a companion. Do not visit these men at their homes. Do not go to lonely places with them. Always have a chaperone. Always have someone to accompany you. They may not be available to go with you in the meetings, but they can go with you to the office or wherever. Because this cannot be a perpetual issue with our women. They are the carriers, the vessels of the future. If a woman says no, it's no. You can be as hard as a rock, masturbate. You're going to die. If you are going to be in a compromising position with a woman, she must understand from your communications that, hey, this man is interested in me. And when a man says he's interested in you, it's not to get married. It's not to be the mother of his kids. It's not to be friends, buddies. When a man says he's interested in you, it's to have sex. He wants to put his penis in your vagina or your anus. He wants to have anal sex with you, vaginal sex with you, oral sex with you. That is what he wants. But men have evolved to the position of understanding that some women you cannot be so direct. You have to be subtle. You have to play around. You have to exercise some patience. So most men will tell you what you want to hear. They will tell you they want a relationship. They will tell you they want a family. They want to live together. They want to get married. You are the love of their life. They were waiting for you when God sent this angel. All of that stuff just to get one-time sex. Just once. So when you ladies leave your homes with that in mind, you have enough time to fix what's in your head. You have enough time to prepare yourself in case this man makes an advance. Am I in a position to give him what he wants? If you are prepared for that, you have sorted that out, you thought about it, you fantasize having sex with the guy, you have a crush on him, you like powerful men. If that's in your personality, then you don't have to worry. You compromise easily. That's you. That's your thing. That's what you do. To get what you want, it's the easy way out. Then you take the easy way. But if you are a woman of character, if you are a woman who has a purpose, if you are a woman who is proud of yourself, who will not undersell yourself, who would not put a price on who you are, a strong woman of God, I advise you to fear no man, regardless of who he is, regardless of his position. Fear no man. You see, fear comes from ignorance. Fear is about not knowing. When you don't know the end of a situation, when you don't know as to why this or why that, that helps you to entertain the emotion of fear, anxiety, uncertainty. And that can cause all kinds of thoughts to enter your mind, mainly negative thoughts. But when you have the position or the information about that situation available to you, you're free. You have overcame fear. You have no need to be fearful, because you know what you're up against. So when it comes to dealing with men, ladies, know the man you're dealing with. Ask questions. Find out. Read between the lines. Evaluate his communications to you. Dress for the impression you want to give. Don't give mixed signals to men. Men cannot process that. And stop judging a man based on the extension of your own ideas or personality. You might not like him. You might not be attracted to him. It doesn't mean he will not like you or be attracted to you. Whatever you feel, he doesn't. So when you go there with your interactions with a man, and in your mind, the thought of a sexual encounter is impossible, so you let your guards down and you present yourself. That's what he is thinking. The possibilities of a sexual encounter with you is promising in his mind. Impossible with you, but promising to him. So based on that potential happening, he makes his advances. Then you act all surprised. I didn't expect that. I didn't see it coming. I never thought a man like that can be so disrespectful. Yeah, you never do. To him, it's not disrespect, it's just him being a man. You see, some of us respect, like I said, no is no. I'm one of the guys. Doesn't matter who she is. She has to tell me, yes, you can enter me. Yes, we can have sex. A woman has to me, she has to say Y-E-S. Yes. That's it. I have to hear it. So I feel wanted. I feel important because she's expressing, which most women don't like doing. So for a woman to take that initiative and bring herself, even though she's naked, even though her legs are, even though, and still have to say yes. Well, they don't call me professor. I mean, like, yes, Kenny, fuck me. Yes, Kenny, you can enter me. I need to hear that. Then I feel good. Okay, she wants me. I'm not just going with body language. No. So I'm asking most men, let her tell you. Let her say the yes word. We're not talking about arrangements here, where she lets you have sex with her because you have to exchange a favor. We're not dealing with that. I don't encourage that. I'm against it because it's bad for relationships. When I say bad for relationships, it's like this woman has her husband, maybe her boyfriend. She's committed to him. She does her best to be loyal. She wants to be independent. She wants to make a contribution to the relationship or the home, or just self-development. And what she's seeking to equip her with these tools to achieve this, she must face a man or men to secure it. I can't imagine what a woman has to go through when she knows that she doesn't want to be disloyal to her husband, partner, whoever, but she is forced to compromise, hoping that it remains a secret, hoping that in time she will forget about it. And then she has to open her legs and have sex with a total stranger just because that man has the tools that is needed to make a difference for her. And if he was a real man, he can just do his job. Because the system, the government, or the organization is paying him to provide a service to the public. So despite the salary and perks that he is getting, he is still demanding sexual favors from women to do his job. It is saddened. And these men are protected by the group that they belong to. You see, laws were made to protect the people from the government. Laws initially was to protect the people from politicians or governments. But over time, because of constant deception and distraction, these laws were changed in favor of governments and politicians. Now the laws and the rules and the regulations to regularize the way society operates are enforced to protect the government from the people. The people are now the enemy of the government, every government. Hence, you have constant fighting between the government and the people. Constant quarrel, confrontation, protests, scandal, seeking to dethrone this president, dethrone the other one, unseat this government, unseat the other one. It continues because it is no longer the people in charge. So the people now has laws to protect them from corrupt governments. It is where the government is in charge, and the government has laws to protect itself from disgruntled, ungrateful citizens. And who enforces that law? The police. Now has become or bore the name as an illegal organization because of the way the people have embraced the idea that the police is no longer there to protect us against the government. The police are now used as agents of a government to protect the government from the people. It's turned backwards. That was not the intention. And most governments are 90%. Let me take it further. 95% men. The masses are 60% women. Who are the ones that are often at the bitter end of the stick? Women, mothers, daughters, wives, girlfriends, grandmothers, aunts are the ones who have become the enemy of governments. They were the ones who were supposed to be protected against tyrannic governments. So we continue to have issues where, as long as a man gets some power and some money, he no longer sees a woman through the eyes of his sister or his mother. He sees a woman the way he sees a car. Something to buy, use for a while, then just park. He takes advantage of that. He moves on to the other one and the other one. And the woman is supposed to forget about it, take the little money he gave, count her blessing that she had sex with a minister, or she had sex with somebody in high position. That should be a plus for her. And just another chick that he got with his money to brag with his friends. That's where we are today. And we wonder why relationships are so toxic. Why couples are so depressed. Because that man's wife, that man's girlfriend, that man's children's mother, partner, is working with a government who is abusing her, is working for men in trusted positions in society who are taking advantage of her. She has to go into that work environment every day. Pretend that she likes the abuse. Pretend that she likes the boss, the supervisor, the manager, the CEO. pretends that she likes what they are doing to her, just so she can keep her job, just so she can be peaceful, left alone, get her bonus when she should, get a raise of pay when she should. She compromised. She jerks him off when he asks her. She sucks his dick when he demands. She opens her leg and have a quickie with him whenever he wants. And she has to go home to her husband. She has to call her boyfriend. She has to visit her lover and pretend that she's faithful, she's loyal. So any little innocent statement that man may make would tick her off. Because when she should be focusing on being the woman that man wants her to be, she is busy waiting to hear him say something that may suggest, vaguely suggest, that she has been unfaithful. Even though he may not do it. Any slight indication of that would send her off. Or if he doesn't, she may start to accuse him of sleeping around with other women because she wants to start a conversation. She is hoping for some evidence that her husband, her boyfriend, her lover is busy with other women, so she can be comforted in her guilt of what she has done on her job with other men. She's hoping for that. When that doesn't happen, and she has no fingers to point at her husband, she has no fingers to point at her boyfriend, her lover, to say that he has been unfaithful, she is alone in her crisis of guilt. Some women just up and leave. Some women confess, create a scenario, and sell their infidelity as, hey, I didn't have a choice. I had to do this to keep my job. I had to do this because I would not get anywhere. Hoping that the husband and boyfriend would understand and forgive them. But men never do. Men don't understand the concept of forgiveness when it comes to his woman having sex with another man. Men don't understand. A woman would forgive, but men wouldn't. A man would not. If he says he forgives you, it's because he's buying time to leave you. When a woman says she forgives you, it's because she's giving you an opportunity to prove to her that you deserved her forgiveness. So when she says she forgave you for the wrong you did, and you say, I will not do it again, that is how far the forgiveness will exist. That's the expiry date for her forgiveness. The again. So when you do it again, the forgiveness is expired. Therefore, chances are she will leave. But a man, if he forgives, or when a man tells a woman that he forgives her, he's doing that because at the moment he doesn't have an exit strategy, because he didn't expect her to be unfaithful. It was not a plan that he was hoping for. So because she confessed, or he caught her, now he has to make a plan to leave her. A man do not plan to stay with a woman after she cheated. He plans to leave. So when he says, I forgive you, don't believe it. He's buying time. He will eventually leave. Because a man cannot process that. Remember I say, men cannot interpret emotions. A man can interpret actions. So the act of committing extramarital affairs of your wakagiyamang, that action the man understand. To meaning, you were not satisfied with him. He was not enough for you. You are a bad woman. That's the message he got. And on that message, he will leave you. Just a matter of time. So that is what you need to understand, ladies. Men and women cannot be friends. It is impossible. Men and women cannot be friends. It is as impossible as me saying I can beat Mike Tyson. No, that's possible. If I get the right training, I can beat Mike Tyson. Yeah. If I get the right training. I am sure, I am absolutely certain right now that I'm stronger than Mike Tyson. I'm sure, I'm that confident. But I can't fight. I can defend myself. In a ring, I don't have the skills to be a boxer. I have to have the training. So if I have the training, yes, I am confident I can beat Mike Tyson. Yes, I can. I, Professor Love, Dr. Love, can, in a ring, if I have the right training, beat Mike Tyson. I can. Right now, I'm stronger than him. I know that. So that's possible. For a man and a woman to be friends, that's impossible. It is impossible. So when you go somewhere, if you have a wedding ring, if you show up with your husband or your boyfriend, unless that other man is fearful of your husband, fearful of your boyfriend, unless he is afraid of the man you have, he would keep us cool, hold his position. Even if you flirt with him, he will not respond because he has fear for your boyfriend or your husband. Remember, fear comes from the lack of knowledge. He don't know what your boyfriend is about, how he would react if he finds out. So he's afraid. But if he knows that your boyfriend or husband is a chicken, is a little boy, he's not a man enough, then yeah, he would flirt with you in the presence of your boyfriend. He would call you knowing that you're home and your husband is there, because he's like, I'm not so man. Now, who would make him have that impression? How would another man know about your husband's, boyfriend, or your lover's status, personality type. You have to tell him. It is the woman who gave the information to the other man about the man she has at home. Based on that information, that man can decide whether to fear the husband or to ignore him. You, the lady, sell that. So even though you don't have intentions to break your vows, your relationship vows, your personal vows, the message that you are giving to the other man with your body language, with your actions, can make him pursue you harshly or back away respectfully. You decide that. Only you can decide that. But you have to take responsibility for what happens to you. A man knows where his boundary ends. He knows that. And I'm thankful for the laws. The common laws, civil laws. I'm thankful for those laws. Because if it weren't for those laws, women will be molested every day. Girls, women, wives, every day. A man will just hold a woman and just have sex with her. Every day. But thanks to laws, most women are protected. They can walk the streets showing all their boobs, showing all their impression or imprint of their vagina, that crease. They can do that publicly. And men would stay away. They will look, they will fantasize, they will take a picture unknowing to the woman, they would video her unknowing to her. They would download her picture from Facebook or TikTok or Instagram, and they would masturbate in private to that woman. Thanks to laws. Thanks to the presence of a court, the enforcers, which are the police, men are forced to back away. If it was not for those civil and social laws, women would be molested every day. Schools, markets, government offices, it doesn't matter where. Every woman a man sees, he will just grab her and have sex with her. Every day. Because that is a man's nature. It is kept in check because of the laws. So what happens? The ordinary man, the common man, may sometimes seek to ignore those laws and force himself on a woman or a girl, hoping that she will enjoy it enough to keep quiet. While there are men, like this alleged accuser, Dharamlal, like a lot of the people, even in our country here, Suriname, like Donald Trump, like all over the world, leaders and politicians and businessmen and millionaires, they use their position of power and money to do the same thing the common man has done. They use that to sleep with every woman they see, regardless of her status of being engaged, married, Regardless of that, these men of power use their access to bypass all of these laws, all of these social moral hurdles, just to get the woman's vagina. They risk everything just for that. Now let's take for example, we have Donald Trump. If he is convicted, he might get away with it if it's prolonged until the elections and he wins. Then the ball is in his court as president. He can just do what he wants. But let's say, for example, he doesn't. Then he could be locked away in prison for a long time. Possibilities he could die in prison for a long time. What good was his wealth? What good was his billions of dollars? What good was his fame and fortune when it could not have guaranteed his freedom to do as he wished? See, it's just an illusion. In this case with this Dharamlal guy, if he is convicted for this alleged rape and abuse, and he goes to prison, what good was his powerful status as a minister, as a millionaire guy, as a fame? What good was it? How did it guarantee that he could do what he wants with any woman he sees and he is above the law? If he is convicted, what good would it be? But if all of this that this woman is alleging is true and nothing comes out of it, then my statement is also true. That the day we are living in right now, the laws are only for the citizens, the common citizens, not for politicians, rich people, or business people. It's not applicable to them. They are above. They are living at a different concept of law. But the common law is for the common man. Because if the common law is applied to the president, from the president to the gardener, then when an allegation is made against a president or a leader, the police will act as swiftly as when an allegation is made against a gardener. That's when justice is blind. That's when the law has no friends. So if the common law respected the rights of a woman, when a woman says descriptively, like the Sarah Hakh lady, this is what happened, and she made reports at the station about alleged rape by a minister of government, the police should have done the same thing they would do when a mother takes her 12, 13, 14, 15, 16-year-old girl, daughter, or when a woman walks into the station and says her neighbor raped her, the same hasty, excitement, aggressive behavior of the police to get into the vehicle and just rush to the neighbor's house and put him in handcuffs pending investigation. It should have been that swiftly when this Sarah Hakh woman made her allegation. The police should have been that swift to get to this Dharamlal's man's house, arrested him, pending investigation. That's when the law applies to everyone. When the police are there to enforce the law, regardless of who is the accuser, is the accused. Regardless. So how do we want to shape relationships? How do we want to mold the mind of our daughters and our sons? How do we want to bring out the best in marriages and relationships today and tomorrow and beyond? We must respect the fact that every individual has rights. The man must understand that, hey, that woman has rights. She is not my property. The woman must understand that that man is not her child. That man is a man, a grown man. That woman is an individual, is a person. She is not your property. Having sex with her don't mean she belongs to you. And when it comes to having sex with her, you have to get her permission. She has to say, yes, you can have sex with me. She has to say that with her mouth. If she can say, can I have some money? If she can say, who is that other girl? If she can say, I want this, I want that, why can't she say, let's have sex? What's so hard with a woman telling the man, yes, you can fuck me. Yes, you can have sex with me. What's so hard? It's the easiest thing to say. So if she's not saying it, it's because she's still indecisive. She's not certain. She's not sure as to what she wants. Because when she's sure, when a woman is sure about what she wants, she says it, she speaks it, she lets you know. So understand this, fellas. You can't break a vagina. You cannot out-sex a vagina. You cannot. It's impossible. You last for 3-4 minutes. She can be there for hours. You cannot. You can go to your grave trying to perform in a vagina. You can lose your heart's rhythm thinking you can abuse a woman's vagina. You can't. So in other words, what you do, you wait. You're patient. You're never in a hurry to enter the vagina. Never. You must never be in a hurry to put your dick in. You must never be in a hurry. Your erection would last much longer if you take time to enter her. Much longer. But if all you're thinking about is how to get her weak so you can push your penis in, then you just last for a minute. I want to say 30 seconds, but I guess a lot of you might take it personal. So I'll give you some extra time. I'll say a minute, 1 minute. That's how long you last when you are hurried. Give her time to make her mind up. No matter who mess around her. No matter who go jumping in and out of her. When they pull out their penis, that vagina is the same way it were before they put their penis in. It's not going to finish it. It's not. So don't be excited that you have to penetrate. You have to get into her, to own her. That's when you go broke. That's when you lose your money, your freedom, your asset, your name, your pride, your character, because you are in a hurry to fuck the woman. You lose everything. Be patient. Let her tell you yes, even if that is your wife, like I said before. I've been married a few times, and none of my wives can say at any time that I ever force myself in them. None of them can say that. It always had to be, they had to want. Because that's my policy. If you are not hungry, I can't force you to eat. You are not hungry. You see, when you are hungry, your body tells you. Your stomach starts to ferment and make noise. You feel dizzy. You know that you're hungry. Then you desperately look for food. Anything you can find, you eat. And if food is offered to you and the appearance is delicious, you take it and you eat it because you are hungry. So when a woman is horny, and she cannot hold it anymore, no amount of masturbation or dildo can give her that satisfaction. When she's in that position, the ugliest guy would get some if he's close by. The neighbor that is 75 years old with an erection will get that pussy if he is available. She don't care. She just wants a dick. And now today, with all the men who are pouncing on the women today, constantly asking for sex, constantly asking for a date, constantly asking to meet, constantly showing interest. One woman may have 20, 30, 50 men on Facebook, on WhatsApp, on TikTok, trying to get her attention. She is so bombarded with all these penises that are floating around that she knows she has choices. She knows she don't have to be so desperate. And that's when she avoids penis. When she's constantly being bombarded, asked out by all these men, all these offers, buy cars, take her on vacation, buy her an iPhone 15, give her Suribet and all these promises. Just because these penises want one thing, to have sex with that woman they see on Facebook. on TikTok, in the office. So the more these men advance these women, the further the woman drifts away. Because you see, fellas, the woman wants what she can't have. When you are presenting it to her, when you are willingly giving it, she don't want it. Because she can have it. She knows it's there whenever she needs it. So it's not something that she would lose sleep over. Because you're making it easy for her to access it. Do you want to know when she craves your penis? When you make it unavailable to her. When you don't flirt as she flirts. When you keep it professional. When you let her understand you're just my friend, or we are business associates. The more you keep your pants zipped, the more you keep your shirts tucked in, the less available you are to her socially, is the wetter and the hornier she will be for you. That's when you are the only guy she wants to sleep with her. You are the only dick she fantasizes, the one she can't have, or she thinks she can't have. So with all the men, with all your position and your money and your power, and you are pesting your female staff, pesting women who comes for favors, pesting women all around because you have this illusion that you are this social it. The women don't want you because you're available. You're giving it free. You're willing to pay them to take your penis. They don't want it. They want the money, but not you. Do you know who they want? The man who don't want them. The man who has nothing. Who has a regular job and a wife and a family. That's the man they want. Because they can't have him. So even as a sexual partner, they still want him. Because he is not available. He operates professionally with that woman. With those women. He respects no is no. That's the man that gets the attention. Not the one that is using position and power to seduce women. That has to stop. So tonight in closing, I would say this. We have to treat our women with more respect. Their bodies belong to them, not to us. Our bodies belong to us. The woman's vagina is hers. Not because you have sex with a woman, you own her. You don't own her. She still belongs to herself. And a woman should have sex with whoever she chooses to. A woman should be loyal only to herself. Because men are loyal only to ourselves. We are not loyal to women. It's an illusion, it's a lie. A man is loyal to himself. So should a woman. If it suits your agenda, go for it. If it doesn't, who gives a shit? But you must understand that a man has no right to take advantage of a woman because of his position. The law should be the law for everyone, from the president to the gardener, should be held accountable for any breach of the law when it comes to living with others. So until next time, this is Professor Love saying, on behalf of myself Pretty soon we'll have Pastor Neville back. He's off on some personal duties. But for now, have a pleasant rest of your evening. Stay well. Remember, church when necessary. Good night.